All right, let's jump right in. For the past few years, we've been watching this incredible revolution in artificial intelligence, right? But it's all been happening behind a screen. We've seen AI learn to write poetry, debate philosophy, create these insane images from just a few words. It's been like this disembodied brain in the cloud, pure code. Well, that whole era is drawing to a close. The next giant leap for AI isn't just about smarter algorithms. It's about giving those algorithms hands and legs and eyes. AI is about to get a body, and when it does, it's going to step out of the digital world and right into our physical one, and it's going to reshape, well, pretty much everything.
To really get a handle on where we're going, we've got to look back a bit. Almost 30 years ago, the amazing astronomer Carl Sagan, he saw this worrying trend. He kind of predicted this future for America, where it wasn't a leader anymore, but more of a hollowed-out service economy, a country that had forgotten how to actually make things. He warned about a time when its entire manufacturing base, the very engine of its prosperity, would just shipped off to other countries bit by bit. And this wasn't just some abstract economic forecast. It was a serious warning about losing what makes you strong, about the danger you're in when you can't build the things you need. For a long time, it really felt like this prophecy was coming true.
To really feel the scale of the change that we're talking about, let's do a little time travel to another huge turning point. Okay, this is Fifth Avenue in New York City. Easter Sunday, 1900. Just take a second and look at it. The whole world here is built around the horse. The entire economy of movement depends on it. You've got stables, blacksmiths, you name it. The streets are just full of the sound of hooves. But hidden somewhere in this picture of the old world, there's a little tiny seed of the future. I want you to look really close. Can you find it? There is exactly one car in this entire photo. It's a curiosity, a novelty, probably just annoying all the carriage drivers.
Okay, now let's jump forward. This is the exact same street, just 13 years later. Look at that. The world has completely, totally flipped. The thing that was a novelty is now the norm. The street is just a river of cars, and the whole city is changing to keep up. Now the game is different. You're not looking for the car anymore. You're trying to find the one single horse. This pair of photos is just the perfect illustration of how unbelievably fast technology can change everything. It's a reminder that entire ways of life can be turned upside down, not over 100 years, but in just over a decade. And we are standing at that exact same kind of moment right now.
And that brings us right back to today. Our generation's horse-to-car moment isn't just about a new way to get around. No, it's a fundamental change in what machines can even do. For the very first time, AI is breaking free from the digital world. We are literally giving intelligence a physical body, creating machines that can see, learn, and act in the real world with a level of autonomy we've just never seen before.
So the term you've got to get in your head is physical AI, or sometimes you'll hear it called embodied AI. Now, this is not your grandfather's factory robot, okay? Those things do one task perfectly a million times over. Physical AI is a whole different beast. It's the fusion of really advanced robotics with these powerful adaptive AI models. We're talking about machines that can use sensors to see and understand the world around them, to navigate messy, unpredictable environments, to learn new things on the fly, and to physically handle objects with real skill. The AI brain is finally being connected to a real-world body.
In this combination, it's kicking off what a lot of people in the field are calling a new Cambrian explosion. So, way back, like 500 million years ago, life on Earth just suddenly exploded into this incredible variety of new shapes and forms. And that's what we're seeing now, but with technology. As the AI software becomes agentic, meaning it can set its own goals and figure out how to achieve them, and as that software gets a body, well, robots are becoming true agents. We are seeing an explosion of new robotic forms, each one designed for a specific job. Humanoids for warehouses, robot dogs for inspections, drones for delivery. You get the idea.
Okay, I know this all sounds a bit like sci-fi, but it's real. It's being built right now on a very real tech stack that's moving super fast. So to really get what's happening, we need to pop the hood and see how these things actually work. We can basically break them down into 3 core layers. It's a simple framework that really helps you understand where the power is, what the challenges are, and where the value is being created.
It's actually pretty simple. You can break any of these systems down into 3 basic parts. First up, you've got the brain. That's all the silicon and the software, right? The super powerful chips and the complex AI models that do the thinking. Second, you have the body. This is the hardware, the motors, the gears, the sensors, all the stuff that lets the robot actually move and touch the world. And then finally, you've got the integrator. That's the company that puts the brain and the body together into one package to solve a very specific problem for a customer.
Let's start with the brain, because this is where a few companies have an incredible amount of power. I mean, you can't talk about AI brains without talking about NVIDIA. They are the absolute king of the hill here. Their GPUs are the muscle for training AI, but their real advantage, their moat, is their CUDA software. Developers have spent more than a decade building on it, so switching to something else is incredibly difficult and expensive. On top of that, their Omniverse platform is a total game changer. It lets companies build a digital twin, basically a perfect simulation of their factory, and train thousands of robots virtually before a single real one is ever turned on. Then you have ARM, whose designs are essential for all the power-efficient little controller chips in a robot. And of course, none of these chips would even exist without the design software from companies like Synopsys and Cadence.
Okay, so you've got this super smart brain, but it's totally useless if it can't move, right? That's where the body comes in. And this is where the physical world and even geopolitics get involved. Take a company like Japan's Naptesco. They make these ultra-precise gears that are critical for smooth robot arm movements. For the best robots, you simply have to have them. The robots literally cannot ship without these parts, period. Then you have companies like Texas Instruments, making all the little analog and embedded chips that are like the robot's nervous system, turning digital thoughts into physical movement. And in a world that's getting more complicated, a company like MP Materials is suddenly vital because they provide a supply of rare earth magnets for motors that isn't in China. That's just pure geopolitical strategy.
And finally, you have the integrators. These are the companies that put it all together. They take the brain and the body and build a solution to a real-world problem, and that's where they capture the value. Intuitive Surgical is just a masterclass in this. Their Da Vinci robot is an amazing machine, but their real moat? It's built on years of getting FDA approvals and, this is key, the entire ecosystem of training surgeons. Once a hospital has spent millions on the system and training its staff, they're not going anywhere. Or look at Symbotic, building these incredible automated warehouses. They lock in customers with huge 15-year contracts. Now compare that to a classic company like ABB. They make fantastic robot arms, some of the best. But because it's a more general product, they're facing a ton of new competition, which is pushing their prices down.
Okay, so we've torn down the tech stack. But this isn't some far-off future thing. This isn't theoretical. So where is this revolution actually happening? Well, the deployment of physical AI is happening right now and is picking up speed across the most foundational parts of our economy. Let's go look at the front lines.
Let's start with construction, an industry that, let's be honest, has been doing things pretty much the same way for a long time and is now dealing with major labor shortages. Well, robots are showing up on the job site. There's a company called Dusty Robotics that has a machine that just drives around printing the building layouts right onto the concrete floor. It does the job up to 6 times faster than a human crew and with fewer errors. And looking ahead, we're seeing humanoid robots as this potentially game-changing solution for everything from lifting heavy stuff to crawling into tight spaces to install pipes, taking humans out of some of the most dangerous jobs.
Warehouses and factories? This is ground zero for the revolution. If you go inside an Amazon fulfillment center, you'll see cobots or collaborative robots already working right alongside people. But the new AI is letting robots do way more than just pick something up and put it down. By combining data from different sensors, robots can now do really complex stuff, things that need a sense of touch, like perfectly stretching pizza dough. And the demand is just off the charts. Symbotic, that company we mentioned, has a confirmed order backlog of over $22 billion, with a B.
And how about transportation? That self-driving future we've been hearing about for years? Well, it's here. Fully autonomous robotaxis are not science experiments anymore. They are a real service. You can pull out your phone right now in cities like San Francisco and Phoenix and Beijing, and an empty car will pull up and take you where you need to go. And they're expanding all over the world. The really important thing to get here is that when you solve the incredibly hard problem of making a car drive itself safely, you learn so much that you can then apply to almost any other robot that needs to get around in the real world.
Now let's talk healthcare, because this is huge. These incredible surgical robots, they used to only be found in the biggest, richest hospitals. But now, because of new business models like subscriptions, smaller community hospitals can actually afford them. These systems let surgeons perform complex procedures with way more precision, which means better results for patients. And they're getting smarter. AI-powered imaging can now show a surgeon in real time exactly where critical nerves and blood vessels are. It's blurring the line between a robot being just a tool and being more like an intelligent partner in the operating room. So when you have a shift this big, it's not just about cool new gadgets. It unleashes an economic earthquake. It promises this massive surge in productivity and creating incredible wealth. But it also forces us to have a really tough, really important conversation about the future of work.
about what skills are going to matter, and about the global balance of power. I mean, which countries are going to lead this thing, and which ones are going to get left behind?
If you want to grasp just how massive this is, all you have to do is follow the money. The global robotics market is projected to more than double in just 5 years. Think about that. It's going from around $50 billion in 2025 to over $111 billion by 2030. That's not just steady growth, that is an explosion. It represents a gigantic shift of money as entire industries are betting their future on automation and intelligence.
Of course, whenever you talk about robots, the first thing people ask is, what about our jobs? And this quote, it just hits the nail on the head. The main threat isn't that a robot is going to just take your job. No, the real risk is getting left behind by the technology. The people who are going to win in this new world are the ones who learn how to use these new tools. The construction manager who's managing a team of robot surveyors, or the surgeon who has mastered the AI-assisted robot.
And this right here, this is the perfect way to see that shift. On one side, you have the jobs that are most at risk, repetitive, predictable, physical work. But for every role that shrinks, new ones are being created that need completely new skills: robot technicians, AI trainers, people who manage whole fleets of robots. This creates what you could call a robotics dividend, a huge potential boost to our economy. But it also creates a massive challenge, a widening digital divide. The most important job for us as a society is going to be bridging that gap, and that means a huge investment in training and education.
All right, we've gone from a street packed with horses in 1900 to a world that's on the edge of being filled with intelligent machines. We've taken apart the tech, we've seen where it's already working, and we've looked at the huge economic changes it's causing. And all of that brings us to one last and, I think, very personal question.
Look, this isn't science fiction anymore. It's not a movie. It is the economic reality we are all living in right now. Machines are changing from just being tools into being active agents. They're going to work with us, drive our trucks, build our buildings, and help with our surgeries. The Cambrian explosion of physical AI is here. The old world is fading away, and a new one is being built as we speak. So the only real question left is, what role will you play in it? What's your next move?